How y'all doing, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 5 4 key game picks. Before we get into week number 5, week number 4, all of the focus, I think, I think a lot of week 4 focused on, obviously, was really about Michael Parsons and Jerry Jones. The drama that was the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys was really the headline of from week 4, which really overshadowed a lot of football that happened in what happened in week 4. Besides the teams that played last week, it got overshadowed by it. It was a lot of people thought that the Cowboys were going to get extremely whooped in that game, and it ended up in a tie of all things. If you think about it, though, that game has its own segment. You could spend 20 minutes analyzing what really happened in the Sunday night game. But I'm going to cut to the chase here on a couple things here. The NFL needs to do something about the ties. Let's be real. It was a high-scoring game, which really I thought that the Packers really had this game in hand. There is a couple of things that should, if you're a Packers fan, it is concerning. A lot of it is on the some of it's on the defense, but you got to wonder about the offense. And really that offensive line look, they put up 40 points on the Cowboys defense because the Cowboys defense is just as bad. But the Cowboys really played hard in that game. Parsons really did not have a good game at all, and he was out for a couple plays because his back's been really bothering him. And obviously at the end of overtime, when they avoided disaster on bad clock management by the Packers, and there was a pass in the end zone that could have been intercepted, and it really could have been costly for the Packers. They were fortunate enough to get 1 second. They ended up going for the field goal, and the game ended in a tie. Personally, though, I really think that Jordan Love and the Packers really should have gone for it on fourth down. The Cowboys defense was gassed. They were worn out. And I think that the Packers would have gotten the touchdown. They would have won the game for sure. Instead, they just go for the tie. Personally, forget the tie. You either win or lose. You go for the win or you lose. Win or lose. Now, that tie could end up helping or hurting the Packers. We don't know yet because it's only week 4. And really right now, it kind of does give the Lions a bit of an advantage now because they're currently in first place by half a game. When you look at other action from week number 4, obviously, Texans finally got their first win of the season. The Rams nearly avoided disaster in the game against the Colts, but they got lucky that Mitchell fumbled the ball in the end zone that caused the touchback, which really did end up costing Indy the game, in all honesty. But how about the two biggest injuries? Neighbors and Tyreek Hill. Big losses for the Giants and the Dolphins. Both of them are out for the season, and those players are costly for both those two teams. But at a cost, though, Dart played very well against my Chargers, and they ended up beating them. The Chargers really shot themselves more in the foot because I don't know where they're off. I don't know what happened offensively against the Giants defense. Maybe I should give credit to their defense a little bit here. Their defense isn't as terrible as it looks. But we need to see more from Dart to see how well he plays. Otherwise, I don't know. It's too early to tell if he's gonna be the savior, would really help save the Giants season. I don't know. There is a lot of things that went on in week number 4. Obviously, the 49ers losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot of injuries, and not having Nick Bosa is really hurting them defensively. Bears blocking a game-ending field goal on the Raiders. That one was fun to watch and all that. And I don't know what more I can say about the rest of week 4. Week 4 was kind of a so-so, to be honest, because a lot of it was focusing more. Don't even get me started on the Monday night games. Monday night games were blowouts. They weren't entertaining at all. Anyways, we got to get into week number 5 here. The bye weeks start this week, so it was I looked at the schedule. It was kind of hard to see which 4 games should get some talk in this video here, and this is what I come up with. So the first 2 key games are going to be about the NFC West, and then the other 2 games, and then one. And you'll be the judge of what I come up with here when I talk about these games. All right, let's begin with key game number 1, and it's a big one in the NFC West. It's the Thursday night game between the 49ers and the Rams. The Rams are a 6.5-point favorite. That number probably maybe go to 6, maybe 5.5. Brock Purdy, he did play last week, was 22 of 38, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a loss against the Jaguars. Now, Stafford, 29 of 41, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, luckily no interceptions here, in a big victory against the Colts, which in all honesty, the Colts really shot themselves in the foot more than the Rams did, because the Colts really looked like they had more control of the game than the Rams did. So basically, this is kind of for first place in the NFC West. Now, even though the Rams haven't played the Seahawks yet, but it is a bigger deal for the 49ers because they've already played the Seahawks, and they still have the advantage. Keys in this game here. McCaffrey really has to really be more involved in this game. And I don't even know if Brock Purdy's gonna play on Thursday night, because there is questions about his foot. Because obviously that foot's still bothering him a bit. He was limited in practice this week. And that's really going to be huge question marks for this 49ers, especially their defense without Bosa. I mean, where does their pass rush come in and play? But for the Rams, though, their defense really needs to play a little bit more better, to be honest. Look, this Rams are supposedly having a good defense, but there are definitely some issues in the secondary. And then you got to wonder how they get the running game going for the Rams, because the Rams really are struggling running the ball here. This game really is a 50-50 toss-up, so I really don't know who wins this game, to be quite honest with you, even though the Rams are a favorite in this one here. But if I have to pick who wins this game here, I'm going to go with the Rams here, because I think the injuries the 49ers have are really going to be hard to overcome. And a lot of questions. I mean, I don't know if Brock Purdy's going to play in this game or not, because he's questionable right now for Thursday night. But I think he does. I mean, he's going to have to really work with that footing. But really right now, they got to get McCaffrey going, because he's really the only weapon the 49ers have right now. But for the Rams, though, I think to me, they technically have a little bit more of a better team than the 49ers do. And I give the slight edge more to the Rams in this one here. It should be a very close game, but I think the Rams edge out a victory here against the 49ers. So I'm picking the Rams at -6.5 here to beat the 49ers Rams over the Niners. Key game number 2, the Buccaneers versus the Seahawks. When I mentioned about the NFC West a little bit here, this is where the Seahawks come in. Now, Sam Darnold was 18 of 26, 242 yards, one touchdown, in a really close game they had with the Cardinals last week. And barely squeaked out a victory in Arizona last week. Now, Baker Mayfield, oh boy, he had a rough game against the Eagles. He was 22 of 40, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 interception, though. In a really disappointing game they had last week against the Eagles. But give the Buccaneers to the credit, though. They almost came back and won. The Eagles are definitely having some questions themselves in their defense here, otherwise besides their offense. But going back to the Buccaneers here. Keys for the Bucs in this game. Emeka Ibuka has to really step up in this game, because they're missing Evans. He's going to be out for a few weeks here. And then Irving he got really beat up. He got banged up big time in that loss against the Eagles. And he's questionable for Sunday's game against the Seahawks. Seahawks are a 3.5-point favorite there, and it'll probably be 3, maybe 2.5. This one's another toss-up here. It's hard to say who wins this game here, because both defenses are about even here. There's really no clear-cut edge that both teams defensive-wise. Hard to say who wins this football game here. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I think the Seahawks will barely squeak out a victory. I just think that if Irving's is really questionable going into the game Sunday, and not having Irving, I mean, who else is? Ibuka's really the only guy that the Buccaneers have defensively right now. I mean, offensively, in terms of wide receivers that they really need to counter with, because their running game is really struggling big time. Kenneth Walker's definitely going to be key, because the Seahawks themselves, they got to get their running game going as well. And they really need to get Kenneth Walker really going in this game here to get that to get that running game going for the Seahawks, to get some pressure off of Darnold. So it's a tough pick here, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I just think that the Buccaneers, like the 49ers, they got injuries big time that they're trying to deal with right now, and I think it's going to be hard to overcome here. It's going to be a close game in Seattle, but I'm going to pick the Seahawks in this one here, -3.5 Seahawks over the Bucs. Key game number 3, showdown in the AFC East. It's the Patriots versus the Bills. It's been a long time since I talked about the Pats. Bills are a 7.5-point favorite here, but I got a sense this could be a trap game for the Bills, given how New England really beat up on the Panthers last week. Drake May was 14 of 17, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, in a big victory. Well, let's be real, the Panthers really aren't that good. I mean, I thought that the Panthers would take a much bigger step up this year, but it seems to me they're going back. They're really regressing, and the Panthers were just beat up by an. You got to wonder now if the Patriots are finally starting to get on a roll now, as the way Mark Grable has got them going here. The Bills, though, Josh Allen, 16 of 22, 29, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Their offense struggled a bit in the first half, but in the second half, they finally woke up. But it's really their defense that raises so many questions right now, because the Saints really did a great job running the ball against that defense. And you got to wonder if having Ramondre Stevens running game for the Pats is got to be a key for them to win this game, so Drake May doesn't have to do much. This game will be close on Sunday night. I can see this game being very, very close. But the Bills and where their offense has been, I got to give it more to the Bills here. I think that Cook will get that running game going for the Bills, because they really got to establish the run a bit more. And Josh Allen will be able to work his magic against any defense here. I'm picking the Bills to beat the Pats here. I think it'll be a close game. There's no way this game's a blowout. I think the Pats will come to play Sunday night for sure. But the Bills, in the end, will get the victory. It'll be a close game, but I'm picking the Bills at -7.5 here. And that's where my pick is on that one here. Bills over the Pats. And finally, key game number 4, it is the Chiefs versus the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a surprise with a record of 3-1. They're a 3.5 underdog in this game. The Chiefs are favored in this one here. Mahomes, 25 of 37, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Their offense is starting to click more. And they got Worthy back. They're able to get the running game going. This Chiefs team is going to start to be the old Chiefs again. And they're back to an even record of 2-2. Against a Jaguars team that's showing some confidence that they're going into Frisco, getting a big victory there. Trevor Lawrence was 21 of 31, 174 yards, and 1 touchdown and no interceptions. But there are some question marks for the Jacksonville defense. They're going to have their hands full against this newly revamped Chiefs offense here. When they got Worthy back, Travis Kelce finally getting in a groove again. They really did a number on the Ravens. The Ravens are in deep trouble. But that's a whole nother subject here. If you look at this football game, the Chiefs, with the way they're getting there, you could say there's some issues. Their defense really starting to get some things back on track here. But I look at their offense really is going to be more the key. The Chiefs are really the more better team here. The Jaguars are going to have to really get their offense going. I don't know if this will be a shootout, but everybody has to be involved for Jacksonville to pull off the upset here. And really, Jacksonville is a home underdog in this one here, as I said earlier. The Chiefs just have the better talent around them, and I'm picking the Chiefs at -3.5. They'll beat the Jaguars here on Monday night, and that's where my pick goes on this one here. It's going to be the Chiefs over the Jags. All right, everybody, that wraps up my 4 key game picks for week number 5. Please check the description for all of my picks for week 5, and I will talk to you all next week when I make my picks for week 6. And until then, everybody, take care and enjoy your football weekend.